I gotta admit, the end of the Fever Mercury game made me sit up for a second because it got a little spicy with Caitlyn Clark having an interaction with Dewana Bonner out on the middle of the floor, sort of waving her back.
Imagine this. A veteran WNBA player trying to show Caitlyn Clark, who's boss only, to have it completely blow up in her face. This isn't just any on-court clash. It's the kind of drama that will have you talking long after the game ends. So, who really came out looking worse? The rising star who casually shrugged it off? Or the veteran who ended up as the punchline of a viral meme? Keep watching to find out how this moment turned into a league-wide spectacle and why the entire internet is buzzing about it. The Indiana Fever were already feeling the pressure going into this matchup. With a playoff spot on the line and injuries piling up, the team was caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty. Players like Caitlyn Clark, dealing with tweaks here and there, and coaches constantly shifting the day-to-day injury reports, made it tough for fans to even know who was actually playing. The Fever, desperate to turn things around, were looking for something, anything, to spark a momentum shift.
Now, we all know that the Indiana Fever is trying to make a push for the playoffs. We've been getting mixed signals coming out about Caitlyn coming back, about Caitlyn being, somewhat ready to go. Then we got Stephanie White saying it's day-to-day again, basically. Well, I'm here to tell you, Caitlyn Clark is not
But what they didn't expect was for that spark to come from the very player they were trying to stop, Caitlyn Clark. Whether it's her insane logo threes, jaw-dropping passes, or just her mere presence on the court, Clark has become the undeniable headline of the WNBA. In just her second season, she's not only drawing more eyes to the league, but she's also owning the spotlight. And when you've got someone as dominant as Clark, challenging her isn't just about getting in her face, it's about taking on a force that's become bigger than the game itself. But when Dana Bonner, a seasoned veteran, decided to make a move against Clark in the middle of this chaotic game, she probably didn't realize what kind of storm she was about to create. Dana Bonner, a veteran with years of experience in the league, should have known better. Having spent a short time with the Fever before moving to the Mercury, she was no stranger to the intensity of the WNBA. But taking on Caitlyn Clark, the face of the league's new era, was never going to be a good idea. Bonner, trying to establish some toughness and assert dominance, made the rookie mistake of picking a fight with someone who thrives under pressure and lives for the spotlight. What happened next was nothing short of a viral moment.
But that interaction stood out to me for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, obviously, is the history there, where Dewana Bonner was on the Fever for a cup of coffee and then winds up on the Mercury. Before the season, Caitlyn Clark said she wanted to win a ring for her, right? She said, I want to win for her. And Caitlyn Clark went out of her way to also, shine light on how Dewana Bonner had risen up to the top of, near the top of the all-time WNBA scoring ranks. And then
the cameras caught it all. Bonner trying to puff her chest and challenge Clark, who responded with an almost casual wave, signaling her to back off. It was the kind of move that made you wonder if Bonner was actually trying to get under Clark's skin, or if she had underestimated just how much the spotlight was already on the young star. And let's not forget, Bonner wasn't just battling Clark in that moment. She was up against an entire fan base that had already embraced Clark as their own. As soon as the footage hit X had exploded, Fever fans ridiculed Bonner for even thinking she could intimidate Clark, while Mercury fans were left scratching their heads, questioning why Bonner decided to pick that particular battle. What had started as a challenge quickly became a meme, and in the court of public opinion, Bonner was already losing. Caitlyn Clark isn't just another player on the court, she's become the heartbeat of the WNBA. Her impact goes beyond the numbers. Sure, she's dropping logo threes that make fans erupt and serving up assists that seem to defy the laws of physics, but it's more than that.
Puffing up, trying to act like she's the boss of the court. The refs just standing there like statues.
Clark is a magnet for attention, a force of nature that can change the dynamic of a game without even having to score a single point. What makes her so captivating isn't just her talent, it's the way she owns every moment. When you challenge her, you're not just challenging a player, you're going up against an entire movement. The league has shifted in her direction, whether executives want to admit it or not. She's become the person everyone's watching, the player whose every move is scrutinized, analyzed, and, thanks to social media, immortalized. And that's exactly why Dana Bonner's decision to step up and try to rattle Clark was a massive misstep. The Mercury, struggling to find their identity and climbing up the standings with a mix of solid performances from others, needed to show strength. But instead of focusing on team chemistry or strategy, Bonner chose to target Clark, thinking it might get in her head. Instead, it gave Clark another chance to show exactly how powerful she is without even trying. That nonchalant wave, that simple dismissal, sent a message louder than any trash talk ever could. It wasn't just about the game, it was about the larger narrative. Caitlyn Clark doesn't need to be the one getting physical. Her presence alone is enough to dominate the spotlight. When Dana Bonner stepped up to challenge Caitlyn Clark, she probably didn't anticipate how badly things would spiral. What she likely saw as an opportunity to assert dominance over the young star turned into a public relations disaster. For Bonner, it was a moment of bravado, an attempt to show the Mercury weren't going to be pushed around by a fever team on the rise. But for everyone watching, it became clear that the real battle was being fought off the court, on social media, in memes, and in the endless reposts of that one viral clip. Bonner's attempt at intimidation was swift, but Clark's response was even quicker, almost effortless. With a single hand wave, Clark dismissed Bonner's chest, thumping like she was swatting away an annoyance. It wasn't just a moment of indifference, it was a perfect example of Clark's ability to control the narrative with her cool confidence. Meanwhile, Bonner, who was hoping to show strength, ended up looking like someone who was trying too hard to assert themselves against a player who thrives in the spotlight. The fallout was immediate. Fans from all sides took to social media to dissect every second of the exchange. Fever fans were mocking Bonner for her ill-timed challenge, while Clark's defenders celebrated the wave as the ultimate flex. Mercury fans, even some of them, were left questioning why Bonner had even picked this fight in the first place. What was supposed to be a display of toughness quickly turned into a moment of regret, one that will follow Bonner for the rest of the season. Because in the world of social media and 24/7 highlight reels, it's moments like these that become the defining storylines, not the actual game. And now, for Dana Bonner, the question remains, did she make the biggest mistake of her season? Once the clip hit X, formerly Twitter, it took off like wildfire. Fans across the league were quick to weigh in, and the consensus was clear: Dana Bonner had miscalculated. What was intended to be a bold display of toughness quickly became a spectacle, one that would be replayed over and over again, dissected from every angle. Fever fans were quick to mock Bonner's attempt, calling it a ridiculous overstep, while Clark's supporters celebrated her ability to turn the tables without breaking a sweat. The fact that Bonner had tried to intimidate Clark only to be brushed off with a simple hand gesture made it even more entertaining for those watching. But the most interesting part, even some Mercury fans were questioning their own player's decision. In hindsight, it was easy to see that Bonner's attempt to make a statement only served to highlight Clark's growing dominance in the league. The viral nature of this moment shows just how powerful the media and fan bases are in shaping narratives. In today's world, every game, every play, every exchange can go viral within seconds. And once something hits the public eye, it becomes part of the larger conversation. What was once just a regular game between two teams quickly became a story about who got the better of who, with Caitlyn Clark, once again, stealing the spotlight. The media, fueled by fan reactions, quickly shifted its focus away from the game itself and onto the drama of the exchange. For Bonner, this wasn't just about losing face on the court, it was about losing control of the narrative, a narrative that Clark has proven time and again she knows how to dominate. And in the age of viral content, where one moment can define a player's legacy, Bonner's attempt to challenge Clark has transformed into something far bigger than just a skirmish. It's a meme, a viral story that will follow her long after the game. While the spotlight was squarely on Dana Bonner's misstep, the Mercury's deeper issues were just as glaring. Phoenix has long relied on veteran leadership, but with aging stars like Diana Taurasi and Bonner herself no longer the focal point of a championship-caliber team, their window of opportunity is closing fast. The Mercury, despite their long history of success, are struggling to find a balance between experience and a future that seems uncertain. This isn't just a team dealing with a few injuries, it's a team that knows its time in contention is limited and the pressure is mounting. Bonner, as a seasoned player, should have recognized the weight of the moment and the stakes for the Mercury. But instead of focusing on the bigger picture like working together as a team and capitalizing on what little window they have left, she chose to pick a fight that would inevitably pull attention away from what really matters: the game itself. The Mercury may have been climbing up the standings, but their strategy of relying on tactics like trying to rattle Caitlyn Clark just isn't enough anymore. Veteran teams tend to get desperate when they feel the end is near, and that desperation can lead to poor decisions, like poking the bear that is Caitlyn Clark. The real issue for Phoenix isn't just about trying to slow down Clark or win a regular season game, it's about managing the inevitable transition. The team's older stars are no longer able to carry the same weight, and younger players are still finding their footing. When you're fighting against the clock, desperate moves like Bonner's confrontation with Clark only highlight the team's internal struggles. The real battle for the Mercury isn't just about wins and losses, it's about finding a way to build a future that can remain competitive in a league that is fast evolving. And right now, that future feels uncertain, with their best chance of success being more of a mirage than a reality. What Dana Bonner probably didn't realize when she squared up with Caitlyn Clark was the sheer weight of the fallout she would face. The confrontation wasn't just a moment on the court, it quickly became a symbol of her desperation and an embarrassing miscalculation. What was supposed to be a bold attempt to stand her ground turned into a viral spectacle that will follow her for the rest of the season. In the age of social media, every action is scrutinized and every moment is immortalized. Bonner, in trying to establish dominance, ended up giving Caitlyn Clark another highlight reel, one that would be dissected, memed, and shared across every platform. The simple hand wave from Clark, a gesture so effortlessly dismissive, became the image that defined this altercation. It wasn't just the Fever who were mocking Bonner. It was fans from all sides, from Mercury supporters questioning why Bonner would engage in such a needless feud, to Fever fans turning the exchange into fuel for their growing admiration of Clark. Bonner may have thought she was asserting herself, showing that the Mercury weren't going to be pushed around, but in the end, she looked rattled, desperate for a reaction she couldn't get. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. While Bonner tried to make her presence felt, Clark remained calm, cool, and in full control of the moment. And that's the problem for Bonner. She was not just trying to take on Clark, she was taking on the very narrative that Clark has mastered. Instead of being remembered for her contributions to the game, Bonner is now part of a viral moment that doesn't reflect strength. It reflects regret. This is the nature of the WNBA today. You can't just challenge a player like Clark and expect to walk away unscathed. In this league, the narrative belongs to those who know how to turn every moment, good or bad, into something unforgettable. And for Bonner, what was supposed to be a show of toughness turned into a reminder of just how powerful Caitlyn Clark's influence has become. While all eyes were on the drama between Caitlyn Clark and Dana Bonner, there was another player quietly proving her worth on the court. Lexi Hall, who may not always make the headlines, was the one who truly showed up when the game was on the line. Logging 35 minutes and scoring 18 points, Hall was a rock for the Fever, playing her heart out despite the chaos surrounding her team. Her contributions didn't get the same viral attention as Bonner's ill-fated confrontation with Clark, but Hall's performance was what kept the Fever in the game. What makes Hall's impact so crucial is the fact that she's the type of player who steps up in the clutch moments. When the game was slipping away and the spotlight was on everything except the game itself, Hall was on both ends of the floor, working hard to keep her team competitive. It's easy to get lost in the chaos of viral moments, but Hall's quiet consistency is the kind of presence every team needs, especially when the drama overshadows the actual game. The irony here is that while Bonner was busy making headlines for all the wrong reasons, it was Hall who was actually causing Phoenix real problems on both sides of the ball. Yet, instead of getting the spotlight for her all-around performance, it was Bonner's failed attempt to intimidate Clark that dominated the conversation. Hall deserves far more recognition for her role in this game, showing that sometimes the most valuable players are the ones who don't need the viral moments. They just need to show up when it counts. At the end of the day, the result of the game itself almost felt secondary to the drama that unfolded between Dana Bonner and Caitlyn Clark. The Fever may have lost, but the true loss here was for Bonner, who unknowingly handed Clark yet another viral moment that will follow her throughout the season. In a world where the WNBA's narrative is increasingly shaped by the players who can control the spotlight, Caitlyn Clark has proven time and again that she knows exactly how to turn every challenge into an opportunity. What Dana Bonner likely didn't realize is that when you try to step into Clark's spotlight, you're not just facing a player, you're facing an entire movement. A movement that thrives on viral moments, social media, and fan-driven narratives. And when Bonner tried to take down Clark in front of a packed arena, she only made her own legacy smaller. Clark, effortlessly, turned the moment into her own story. One where the veteran's aggression was met with cool indifference, and it was Bonner who ended up looking rattled. This incident isn't just about one player or one scuffle. It's about how the league, the fans, and the media now work in Clark's favor. She doesn't need to dominate with every shot or play. Sometimes, she only needs to be herself, calm, collected, and unbothered. And in that, Caitlyn Clark owns the narrative, every time. So, what do you think? Was Dana Bonner just caught in the heat of the moment, or did she completely miscalculate by challenging Caitlyn Clark? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown of the next viral WNBA moment.